Dear students of class 9th, this is the fourth video and it is related to physical features of India. So before going to the new topic Indian desert, let us start from the last topic what we discussed in the previous video. So we will start from Ghats. Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. These are the two Ghats what we are getting. So, with regard to the Western Ghats, they are marking the western edge of the Deccan Plateau. So, these are the chain of hills. And with regard to the Eastern Ghats are forming the eastern boundary, or you can say the eastern edge of the Deccan Plateau. And just like Western Ghats, these are also the chain of hills. So from this topic, one question is very important you may be getting. Differentiate between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. So if you are getting the question to differentiate between Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats, some of the relevant points which can be included here. With regard to the Western Ghats, just I have told you, first point what you can include, Western Ghats are marking the western edge or the western boundary of the Deccan Plateau. And with regard to the Eastern Ghats, they are marking the eastern edge or the eastern boundary of the Deccan Plateau. Second point what you can add here is that with regard to the Western Ghats, they are regular and continuous. If you see Western Ghat, what you will notice, they are regular and continuous and can be crossed through the passes only. And with regard to the passes, these are the natural routes across the mountains or the hills. And with regard to the Eastern Ghats, they are discontinuous and irregular and dissected by the east flowing peninsular rivers. You can see that Eastern Ghats are broken at several places. Third point, with regard to the Western Ghats, they lie parallel to the Malabar coast, and with regard to the Eastern Ghats, they lie parallel to the Coromandel coast. Another point what you can add here with regard to the Western Ghats, they are comparatively higher in elevation and their average elevation is in between 900 to 1600 meter. And with regard to the Eastern Ghats, they have comparatively lower elevation and their average elevation is about 600 meters above the mean sea level. Next point what we can count here, with regard to the highest peak what we are getting in the Western Ghat, that is Anai Modi. It is having the height of about 2695 meters. And in Eastern Ghat, the highest peak what we are getting is Mahendragiri, and it is having the height of about 1501 meters above the mean sea level. So you will make the note in your fair copy. The new topic what we will discuss today, that is Indian desert. So with regard to the Indian desert, this desert lies towards the western margin of the Aravalli Hill. And name of the desert, Indian desert, is the Thar Desert. And this desert is an undulating sandy plain covered with sand dunes. Undulating means a landform which is having wavy appearance. Such landmass is known as undulating landmass. And with regard to the sand dunes, what you might have studied in junior classes also, a small hills of sands in the desert, or you can say hillocks of sands in the desert, are known as sand dunes. And all of you know that in arid and semi-arid areas, winds are very active, and sand dunes are formed due to the depositional action of winds in the desert. Now let us discuss about the climatic condition what we are getting in the desert part of our country. So in Thar Desert, as you know that this desert is an example of the tropical desert, or you can say the hot desert. So here climatic condition is arid type, and with regard to the rainfall, Thar Desert receives very low rainfall below 150 millimeter per year, and due to low rainfall and arid climatic condition, streams or river appears during the rainy season only, and as they are having very less water, so these streams are unable to reach the sea. Luni is the only large river in the Thar Desert, or you can say the Indian Desert. And just I have told you that it is having arid climatic condition, amount of rainfall is very low. So in Thar Desert, the diurnal range of temperature and also the annual range of temperature both remain high throughout the year. So what is diurnal range of temperature? In very simple sentence, what we can say, the difference between the maximum day temperature and minimum temperature at night is known as diurnal range of temperature. And with regard to the annual range of temperature, that is the difference between temperature of the hottest and coldest months of a year. So both the diurnal and also the annual range of temperature always remain high in the tropical desert of our country, or you can say the Thar desert of our country. After that, we will discuss about another feature. All of you know that you might have studied in junior classes that in Thar desert we are getting sand dunes. Sand dunes are very common features what we are getting, and generally in Thar desert, in most of the areas, we are getting crescent shaped sand dunes. Crescent shaped sand dunes in the sense, uh, in this form we are getting crescent shaped sand dunes, and these crescent shaped sand dunes are known as barchans. And near to the Indo-Pak border, we are getting longitudinal dunes. And with regard to the longitudinal sand dunes, these are the large elongated sand dunes lying parallel to the prevailing wind directions. So these longitudinal, or you can say large elongated sand dunes, are common near to the Indo-Pak border. So just I have told you the important features or the characteristics of the Indian desert, and from this also you will be getting question from this topic. Mention the characteristic of the great desert of India. So again I am telling you point wise, you will make the note. First point, it lies to the west of the Aravalli range. Second point, it occupies a major part of the state of Rajasthan and extends up to Sindh in Pakistan as Thar Desert. Another point, the land is generally sandy. Next point, the region is dry with hardly any rivers. Luni is the only river in this region. The another point what you can count here is that just I have told you that in this area amount of rainfall is very low, temperature remains very high throughout the year. So here we are getting one saltwater lake that is known as Sambhar Lake, and the water of this lake is used for preparation of salt. So these are some of the features which can be included as answer. So for today it is sufficient. In the next video we will discuss the remaining part.